you to dust. Before my righteousness! Damn you! Stay away from my handmaids!
Jane's fleeing again. The woman's got no shame. Be on guard.
defeated my archons, crushed my soldiers, defiled this most holy of places. No more. The gods of my mother stand with me, while you have nothing but the ghosts of your broken legion. If any of you pretend to piety, pray to your gods now. Neither will I grovel or beg.
Don't force me to kill you. Rajani and your handmaids want you to live.
Rajani is no handmaid of mine. When she threw herself at your feet, she renounced her kinship with me. But I am not alone. My gods have not abandoned me. Not yet. They dance like shadows at the corner of my eye. And they whisper in my ear. I will go before the gods of my mother, appeal to them for aid, and call her fallen sisters back from death. And when I return, we shall drive you from this kingdom that is mine by right.
Where is Jane? Is she...
Vanished. She went to find her mother's gods, to appeal to them for help.
But they are long dead. Unless she means... The forest. The place you call the Mournweald. It grew from a seed of the first creation. Perhaps...
And this seed, could it take the form of a tree?
I don't know. None of us were able to enter the forest, except for Jane's mother, and Jane herself. But I suppose it would take an appropriate form. If it gave birth to a forest, it might appear as a tree, yes.
Are you saying that your gods aren't dead? A part of them lives on?
Any fragment of the first creation would contain all the power of our gods, and perhaps a remnant of their minds as well. They would only exist as a potential, a possibility, but even in such a reduced state, they would be strong.
So the visions that Jane sees, the voices that speak to her, in her mind.
They might be real, not dreams born of madness at all. The souls of our gods may be speaking to her, guiding her. But Jane's purpose, to take this kingdom as her own, that is hers alone. Our gods would never have counseled her thus. Perhaps her mind is shaping them, more than they are shaping her.
She thinks she can restore the other Archons to life, with the help of her gods.
Our legends say that no Archon could ever truly die. Their fires could always be kindled again if our gods willed it so. If Jane restored them all to life, she would have an army behind her.
Just how many Archons were there when your gods were alive?
We counted ourselves as numerous as the stars in the sky. Indeed, the stars were fashioned in our honor, one for each of our sisters. Or so the stories tell us.
We've got to follow Jane. How can we get to the Mournweald from here?
Jane built this place on the ruin of a Legion stronghold. I've seen one of your causeways in the dungeon below. The gate was hidden behind a locked door, but Jane entrusted her handmaids with a key. I have it here.
I tried not to harm the other Archons, but I couldn't be sure they survived.
Thank you. They are alive, all of them. Soraya is with them now. I know my sisters. They'll see Jane's defeat as a sign that she led us astray. None of us will follow her again.
Now that Jane has fled, where will you and your sisters go?
We shall watch and wait. Your war against Jane will decide the future of our race. One prophet has been cast down, and another has risen, to lead us down a new road. At least, that is what I believe.
You're mistaken. I'm a Legionnaire, not your spiritual leader.
You may not think of yourself in that way, but our sisters will look to you for guidance if Jane is defeated by your hand. And if you lead them to the Legion, perhaps that is a sign that should not be ignored. But we will see.
Martin, what about our army? Has the battle ended?
We've won, but only thanks to you. A few of Jane's people surrendered. The others all fled.
Jane's army fled? Where did they go?
East, toward Drakkenberg, the nearest town that Jane held. Her fanatics still control the church, and all the towns of the east. If Jane returns with another army at her back, they'll probably flock to her banner again.
Can we take the elevator down to the dungeon?
Yes. No need to stop in the chancel. It will take you all the way to the dungeon below.
I'm with you. Let's go and see if this causeway is still intact.
made it out alive, did you? Not bad. Since you did old Fitch a favour, let old Fitch do one for you. Got some good stuff here. I'll sell it cheap.
I'd consider his offer. You won't have another chance to buy weapons or gear before you face Jane. So, one way or another, this is the end of our road. Shall we go?
Stay here, Martin. Someone needs to take charge of the Spire.
I thought you might say that. Meister Wolf doesn't lack for nerve, but the man's a bit mad. Seems wrong, though. We started this journey together. I would have liked to have been there at the end.
You're a good friend, Martin. Take care.
We'll expect all the automatons to be clean and well polished by the time we return.
Remember, out of all the survivors of the Legion, the Radiant Youth chose you. He appeared to no one else. I think he chose well, and I'd follow you down any route. Goodbye, my friend.
Be praised. You're here. You won't believe what's happened. It started just before you...
Is the chapter house under attack?
Not just the chapter house. More like the whole bloody valley. Something terrible is happening. It's like the sky's been set afire. Come with me. I'll show you.
Legionnaire, it seems that you've arrived just in time for the end.
We're alive, aren't we? Don't be so quick to give up hope.
Hope? You think I should have hope? Look! The signs are all around us. Stars are dropping from the heavens and we are all going to die. You see? It is folly to think of hope.
Are you quite finished? I can get you to safety in the causeway.
Causeway? But I thought only Legionnaires were allowed to...
Rules change when the sky is falling. That's probably in the bylaws, somewhere.
Excellent point. To the causeway, then. I've always wanted to do this. To travel by causeway like the Legionnaires of old.
I'm happy for you. It would be a shame to get this close only to die under a pile of rock.
It's easy to get disoriented in there. Don't wander far from the gate. I'll come and find you when this is all over.
Oh dear.
Here, take this key. You'll need it to unlock the door downstairs. Until our paths cross again. Hopefully sooner than later, hey?
That thing is ugly.
Jane Cassandra is close. She found her way to the tree at the center of the forest, and she's waiting for you there. I came to warn you. She is not alone.
So Jane did what she promised? She called the other Archons back to life?
Yes, the Devas too. And something else. Something far worse. It hasn't taken shape. Not yet.
So those four-armed demons have a name.
No one has seen a Deva since the dawn of the world. They serve the creator gods, just as the Archons did. If Archons were couriers and envoys, then Devas were soldiers, the wrathful hand of their gods. Even then, they were said to be terrible, but not as monstrous as you see them now.
What's happened to the Archons? Why do they look so strange?
The power at the heart of this forest has been twisted and ruined. It can only give birth to monsters now. That is Jane's fault, though she doesn't understand what she's done wrong.
Jane called something else back to life? Do you know what it is?
Nothing I have seen before, but anything is possible here. This forest grew from a seed of the first creation. It's alive with the power of the old creator gods. Jane has tapped that power. She has used it wrongly, yes. But it's still the same power that gave birth to the world. Limited only by her mortal mind. But it won't matter. If you strike now, you can still defeat her.
Is there anything else you can tell us? If what you say is true, we'll need every advantage we can get.
The danger won't come from Jane Cassandra. You have nothing to fear from her. The presence that is taking shape, that is the real threat. Destroy it, and the power in this forest will be broken. Jane's Archons and Devas will return to dust. That's all I know for certain, but I'll be with you again, before the end.
The whole forest is breaking apart. We don't have much time. One more down.
To the...
Much obliged. Down. You know, we might actually survive this. That mad...
So you followed me here. You are stubborn. And I admire you for that. But you should never have come. I have restored the Archons to life. Just as I promised.
You call them Archons? Their fire is cold and dark. Nothing like me or your handmaids.
No, they are not as they were. But they are bound to me. And they will follow my word. The Archons are not all that has returned. The power of creation still lives in this grove. And anything can be born anew. Even the creator gods themselves.
Is she mad? She can't mean...
Thank you.
The voices of my mother's gods. I cannot hear them anymore. Not even a whisper.
They are lost. You will not see them or hear them ever again.
You lie, child. Or whatever you truly are behind that innocent face.
No, Jane Cassander. I speak the truth. What remained of your mother's gods has been destroyed, and the power of creation has fled this grove. It will never return.
You told me that this forest grew from a seed of the first creation. Is it dead then?
That cannot be. My mother searched for thousands of years, and this was the only remnant of her gods that she ever found.
The power in this forest might have been used to restore the old gods and all their servants to life. Not the twisted half-life that you gave them, Jane Cassander. A true rebirth, as they were at the dawn of the world. But you called upon that power to destroy, not to create. You twisted the power of creation to your own ends, until all that was left was an empty shell, rotted from within. And now, it is gone.
Why did this power respond to Jane, and no one else?
Jane's mother was first sister. When she died, her fire passed to Jane. The first sister stood at the right hand of her gods. Only pale shadows of their minds persisted in this grove. But they remembered her. That is why Jane saw her gods in visions and dreams, just as her mother did before her. And that is why Jane could unlock the power that was buried here.
And the Archons I fought in the forest? The ones that Jane restored to life?
Dead, wilted like blossoms, and scattered to the wind. When you slew the reborn god, all Jane's creations were undone. In time, the forest will recover. But it will be ordinary, no longer the Mornfield, with the power of creation at its heart.
The forest was already corrupted, even before Jane tried to call the Archons back to life.
The first time Jane called on the power of the old gods, it was to murder Hugh Montbaron 30 years ago. She knew she was misusing that power, but she was too full of anger, and she didn't care. After that, the Mornfield grew rotten and sick. All its potential for good was lost.
So she came back, and made the same mistake a second time.
Yes, driven by anger again. So the Archons that she called back to life were nothing but monsters. It was the same for the Creator God. The creature that you fought was shaped by Jane's fury and guilt.
Guilt?
Yes, Jane Cassander. You can hide your remorse from yourself, but you cannot hide it from me.
We have a decision to make. What to do with Jane.
Not yet. There is one thing more. The other Archons did not lie. You died in this forest, and 30 years ago, you were given new life. Here in this grove.
So the Creator Gods, whatever remained of them, they called me back to life.
That may be. Yes.
If they gave me new life, it was just after Jane destroyed the Legion. The forest was already becoming corrupt.
Perhaps the Creator Gods knew they were doomed, and they wanted you to destroy them, to undo Jane's mistake. We'll never know for sure, but if that's true, then you've honored them.
And Jane? What of her?
Remember what she did. Not only to my father, but to all the rest of the Legion too. It was her crime that started this.
I expect no mercy from the Legion. Do as you like.
Before I pass judgment on you, I want to know why you acted as you did. Honestly, and in your own words.
Why did I slaughter so many Legionnaires who had no part in killing my father, the king? I was young, full of anger. My father was dead by the Legion's hand. So I raised an army. I swore to avenge him myself, if I had to carve my way through every chapter house in Ebb. If the other Legionnaires had handed over Mont Baron, I would never have hunted them down. But they were so stubborn, so loyal to their chief. That was wrong of me. I should not have punished the whole Legion for Mont Baron's sin.
You're sorry for killing the Legionnaires, but not for killing Mont Baron.
No. I would kill him again. He murdered my father. And I don't care what his reasons were. You asked for honesty. There you have it.
The Mornweald was sacred to your people, and especially to your mother. Why would you confront the Legion here?
Mont Baron lured me to this place. Somehow, he knew what I was. And he knew that this forest was sacred to me. He believed that I would never dare to strike him down. Not in the presence of my...
He was wrong. You used the power of the Mornweald against him.
Mont Baron was so arrogant. So sure that he'd outmaneuvered me. That smug look on his face, with no hint of remorse for what he'd done. That was what doomed him, most of all. I will never understand why the Forest allowed him to enter, when so many others were kept out.
Unless your gods meant to test you. Perhaps they wanted to know if your devotion to them was stronger than your rage.
I never thought of that. If that is true, then I failed them.
You've told me why you destroyed the Legion, but why fight a war with the Queen?
I will answer your question with one of my own. Do you believe that Rosalind would make a stronger queen than me? My father was a king, my mother a chief among her people and chosen of her gods. I have made mistakes, yes, but I know how to lead. And Rosalind, she has the heart of a lamb. Would you trust the rebuilding of this kingdom to a sheltered little girl?
If Rosalind falters, the Legion will keep the country whole.
Be careful. I hear the echo of Hugh Mont Baron behind those words. Take too strong a hand, and the people will cast your Legion down again.
I have no more questions. I've made my decision.
And I am ready for your judgment, though I know what it will be.
No, you won't die today. I promised Rosalind that I'd spare your life.
Little Queen Mouse. I owe my life to that cringing girl. That is a fine irony. Am I to be your prisoner, then? Paraded through the streets in a gilded cage?
Atone for all the suffering you've caused. Help us to rebuild the kingdom.
You are not the Legion I remember. They were arrogant, and they would never have proposed such a thing. Very well. You have my promise. I will use what influence I have to help you heal this country. Let the war between us end.
By those words, Jane Cassinder, you are bound to the Legion now.
It's over then.
For now, you deserve a rest. But it may be short-lived.
We need to build our strength and train more Legionnaires.
You will find many willing to join the Legion now. Even a few who might surprise you. And you will need them soon. The country is still divided, and the Legion has many old enemies who yet live. But you've shown yourself to be fair, as well as strong. Whatever happens, The people of Ebb will stand behind you.
Time to leave, I think. Odo and Martin must be waiting for news.
We part ways then. I will be watching. And one day, I will see you again.
You bid farewell to the Radiant Youth, and he sent you back to our chapter house in Stonebridge, where I awaited your return. In the weeks that followed, news spread of Jane Cassinder's defeat. Her army scattered, giving us time to rest and regroup. Martin Guiscard returned safely from the Spire, along with Meister Wolf and the Automaton army. Only a few weeks later, elections were held in Stonebridge. Meister Wolf, who had been so public in his support of the Legion, almost won the office of mayor. But he was defeated in the end. Many people had wanted the dapper old gent to hang. They resented the fact that the Legion had spared his life, and they blamed poor Wolf. After the humiliating events in the Foundry, Meister Castle was forced to resign as Guildmaster of Ironmongers. The Cyclopses negotiated a new contract for higher wages, and with the help of Meister Fiddlewick, formed a new workers' union. For the first time in 100 years, they were permitted to leave the Foundry and spend their newfound wealth in the markets and taverns of Stonebridge. Cyclopses are becoming an increasingly common sight in Stonebridge, and many believe that they will eventually take their place as equal citizens of the town. Archambault du Payen, formerly known as the Dapper Old Gent, proved a valuable addition to the Legion. His knowledge of Legion magic allowed us to retake control of the Sentinels that had long guarded our chapter houses and estates. But the people of Stonebridge still bore him a grudge, so we were forced to send the Gent north for his own safety. There, he took possession of Gunderic Manor and all the magic that lay within. In time, the manor will again become a training ground for a new generation of Legion mages. With the reopening of the Heroes' Crypt, pilgrims returned to the Rukenval, and merchants followed. The following winter was harsh, just as Lazar Basili feared. But thanks to the trade from the south, the people of Ravensreel stayed warm and fed. When spring came, many more pilgrims arrived, and the town of Ravensreel grew wealthy again. Lazar and his people built a new stone wall around the town, and reclaimed their abandoned houses and farmsteads from the forest. It is a happy change of fortune for a long-suffering town. Queen Rosalind abandoned Glitterdelve, embarking on a tour of all the cities and towns of the West, meeting as many of her subjects as she could. The Queen showed all the energy of youth, and I think she fully expects to reunite the country in a matter of months, not years. Reality may not be so kind, as Lord Devonsey has tried to make her understand. In truth, the future of this country depends more upon what we decide. If she doesn't have the Legion behind her, the Queen is only a single voice, well-meaning though she might be. As for Devonsey himself, I think the man was impressed by your decision to spare Jane Cassinder, as the Queen had asked. When he last visited Stonebridge, he spent a great deal of time in our chapter house. I believe he might actually be willing to rejoin our ranks, if we choose to accept him. Rajani and her sisters returned to Stonebridge, quietly and carefully disguised. Jane Cassinder's defeat affected them deeply, though not in the way I expected. Their devotion to Jane was replaced by a deep admiration for you. I think they see in you the leader they should have followed all along, and they have lately expressed a desire to join our ranks. I maintain my suspicion of any Archon who once followed Jane, but I believe that redemption is not impossible, even for them. Jane Cassinder was as good as her word, though I had my doubts at first. She returned to the cities and towns of the East and urged the people to end their war with the Legion and the Crown. Jane's repentance was heartfelt, and many were swayed by her words. But others have not been so compliant. The Church Synod in Bisselberg, who once called Jane a saint, have declared her apostate and threatened her life. Though Jane refuses bodyguards of any kind, Queen Rosalind fears for her life. And if anything befalls her, our gains in the East may yet be lost. As for the Legion, the rest of our story is yet to be told. We have a nation to reforge, a fellowship to rebuild, and old enemies who would see us destroyed. And we have questions to decide. Who will assume true power in Ebb if the nation is restored? And who will take the mantle of Grandmaster? But these matters I leave for another chronicle, and another time. Whatever happens, know that you will not face the future alone. The Legion will stand by you, always.